I'm Erin, and I write poetry and fantasy fiction.
And I'm KR House, and I write fantasy and science fiction.
And in this video, we're going to be talking about writer's block and some ways that you can overcome that. Writer's block is something that I think plagues so many people at so many times, and it really sometimes feels a little like really daunting to try to get over it, and it really is kind of discouraging when when you really care about a project. So hopefully these things that we're going to talk about, hopefully these are helpful, and we'll kind of throw in how these have kind of worked for us in our respective projects. All right, so do you want to talk about our first tip?
Yes, our first tip is one that I do a lot, or especially when I was working on my first draft of my first book, and that is open a new document and start writing there. I found for my first draft and for my first book, which was like the first big project that I finished, I kept getting stuck, and I would get confused on okay, where do I like this? Do I not like this? And I'd be like, oh, I don't like this, but I don't know how to fix it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start a new document, and we're just going to start again from the beginning. Or I'm going to start copy paste. That way I have the old stuff and change it without deleting. Having to, in case if I wasn't sure if I wanted to change something, that way I would have the two versions. Sometimes it's a mental thing. So if I had a Google Doc and a Word doc, or I had different ones and different ones of both of those. And it was just sometimes I was just I need a different tool. I need this in a different frame. I just want it to look different, just to freshen it up.
Yeah. Tip number 2 is sometimes you just got to talk it out loud. One thing I have found really helpful is just, turning the voice recorder on and just kind of going on a rant, or not a rant, but, just kind of just getting started. Just talk about the story. If there's a plot thing that I'm trying to figure out, sometimes it's just helpful to not be looking at a page, having to apply what I've decided is going to happen. Sometimes it's helpful to just talk about the story kind of from the outside perspective. And that can kind of at least get me a clearer view of what's going to happen next, what I need to write about. So that's how I personally kind of use that. Do you have, things to add about that?
Yeah, I've used that some before too. I feel like I find that most helpful when I'm stuck on a plot thing. I'm like, what happens here? Or a world building thing where I can't figure out how it works. And just talking through it out loud. There's something about that. My younger brother is a computer programmer, and they have there's this thing in programming that's having a rubber ducky on your desk.
Yes.
That's if you just talk to the rubber duck about your problems before going to ask a coworker, just to sometimes you'll figure it out just talking to the duck. And I feel like that's kind of what the same principle.
Yes. Yeah. It just kind of takes some of the pressure off a little bit, where you're just kind of I don't know, because I guess it just feels a little bit more removed, and you can just kind of, Yeah.
Okay. The third point for this is something, again, I did when working on my first draft of my first book. I had writer's block for a really long time, so I did a whole bunch of little weird tricks to try to force myself to finish this book. And that is describing what is going to happen in the scene instead of writing a scene. So I found there were some scenes that I came across that I just didn't know how to write, a fight scene, and I was I just have no idea how to start this and how to transition to it. And so to not slow down and lose momentum in writing the draft, I was okay, I'm really stuck here, and it's weighing me down. It's making me not want to work on the project at all. So I'm going to describe, okay, here they fight, and this person does this, and this person does this, and just kind of explaining the bare bones of it to take away the pressure of making it fun to read and nice.
Yeah. Especially if there's something that you have to figure out before you can kind of move on, if it's a world building or magic system thing. I know that's how I've kind of used that trick before. It's if I'm I haven't made a decision about how this is going to work yet, but it's keeping me from moving forward with the draft, and it isn't something that completely affects what's going to happen next. It is helpful to just kind of be brackets or italics here. We'll just skip a little bit and then keep going. It's whatever, I think you mentioned momentum, whatever you need to kind of keep that momentum going. Yeah. Our next tip is to listen to music or something like that kind of distracts you a little bit while you're writing, because it kind of drowns out the inner critic a little bit. This is actually something that I started doing after you mentioned it, so give you full credit for it, but then found that it was actually really helpful. Especially like listening to music with words while writing, because I'm not as much kind of second guessing, because I used to think it was too distracting as far as like concentration, but then actually trying it, I was like, oh no, this does kind of help me keep going, because I'm not able to kind of sit here and read it. I'm just kind of letting it flow, and kind of having something I enjoy that might help me kind of be centered, like if it's like your playlist for the novel or project you're working on, but it kind of makes it to where you can't be fully engaged in writing and editing at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I feel like it's a little bit of a hot take, because people are like, don't listen to things with lyrics. I've even seen people who are like do art are like, don't listen to anything, don't listen to things, like you need to be totally focused, totally present. But I think if you're suffering from writer's block, you need to try like everything you can to like your focus is not on, like if just the act of writing is so hard to start, like whatever you got to do is you're not trying to have the perfect process when you're suffering from writer's block. You're just trying to get words on the page. Okay, the next point is to do something else, like work out or make something, or even like watch a movie or hang out with friends. Like do something else that fills you up, that is inspiring. I think working out is really great for this because it's so different from writing, and like it helps you to like burn away nervous energy or upset feelings, and those can be a big reasons of why we're not writing. I notice for me, if I've have writer's block and I'm like really struggling, like I get like really upset about it, and just going for a run helps like clear those away. Also, making something else is really good to like still feel creatively filled up without having to get over writer's block. Like if you embroider or draw or music or whatever.
Yeah, there's always something to be said for taking a break. And even better if that break gets your mind off whatever it is you're stuck on.
Yeah.
Our next tip is to outline just the next little bit of what you're writing. Now, if you're a full discovery writer, you may not want to listen to this advice. This may be everything against the fiber of your being. I'm not sure. But, sometimes it can be helpful to just have a little bit of an idea planned out ahead of time. So if knowing what's going to happen next or figuring out how to do a transition is what's kind of causing your writer's block, just getting the next few points of the plot kind of figured out before you keep going might help you kind of work through that and overcome it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, especially because like why you may be stuck because, like you said, because you don't know what's going on. I know it's been true for me, even if I've like outlined the whole thing. Sometimes when I'm stuck, I do have to go back and be like, okay, well, let's look at this next little bit specifically. Yeah, it's a good strategy. Our final tip is my favorite one. It's not as, basically, the main thing that helped me get over writer's block, like after like years of not writing, was to just kind of grit my teeth and being willing to write something bad. Like, and I know like brute forcing your way through something creative is not for everyone, but it was for me, because I think at some point, like because I think sometimes it's like the reason I had writer's block was like because of fear about the project not being good, and just be like, well, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna write something bad, helped me get over that. Because otherwise I think my first draft of my first book was really, really bad, and I think if I hadn't just sat down and made myself do it, like, I don't know, it would have taken me way longer, or I would have never done it. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta see what happens.
You just gotta see what happens. Yeah, and even like that's like how it helped me in like big picture writer's block of like, okay, I haven't written in a long time, I need to start writing again. And then even in the smaller picture of like in the project of working on the book, in the process of working on the book, I was like, there were parts where I would get stuck again and be like, I have no idea how to write this. I don't know. And like, I just was like, well, I'm just going to make something up that's terrible and it's fine and we'll fix it later. Like there's a lot of battle scenes in my book, and I didn't know, I was like, I don't know how to start this battle scene. I've like run out of ideas for battle scenes. And I was like, well, we're just going to come up with something. And what I came up with was like, I've read a lot of Tolkien, they like sing and stuff, and so they started singing before they went into battle. That is not in the final book because I don't know how to write songs, and also it didn't fit at all. But I got something down, and it helps me keep the momentum going.
Yep.
It was very bad.
Yeah, you can always go take it back out later, but sometimes that's the stepping stone.
Sometimes the stepping stone is people singing, and yeah. All right, so those are some of the ways we think about trying to get over writer's block or like get past it. I hope some of these are helpful to you. If you try one and it works, let us know. If you have other ways to get over writer's block, drop in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. I feel like writer's block is, for some people, it's like a lifelong thing of like you can't always be happy and excited to write. So like it's like a constant like this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, good luck.
Bye.